use my best Churchillian voice. We're celebrating something described in The Guardian as dull and impenetrable on Saturday, which is a subject that I think Bryony, through her special genius, has managed to take something that is potentially incredibly worthy, difficult and impenetrable. And I'm probably not risking anything by saying this is probably the largest gathering of people who have ever gathered to discuss anomalies in EU trading emissions schemes. This has coincided with The Guardian renewing, expanding, enlarging our coverage in the environment and building up a network of all the best environmental sites. And Sandbag is the first of those sites. We think it's a really special site. We're very pleased that you've come here tonight. And finally, if you're just wondering why we're here, it was because Bryony felt that this subject, and I think we agree, I'm sure, that most people here think this is a subject that has that kind of urgency that wartime brings with it.
We are in an unprecedented moment in human history. So far, we have been unable to prevent our planet and our civilization from descending down a dangerous path. Perhaps what we need now, it is a heavy dose of good old-fashioned common sense. It is imperative that we, the people in the civil society, as well as the media, begin to tell it as it is. NASA scientist Jim Hansen explains that we cannot allow atmospheric CO2 concentration to go up to 450 or even 400 parts per million, as policymakers currently envision. But we must rapidly lower it to at least 350 from our current levels of 385 if we wish to preserve a planet similar to that on which civilization developed. If we do not make 350 the most important number on Earth, future generations will be faced with surviving on an overheated planet. Much of the Siberian subarctic region is a vast frozen peat bog. This organic matter, currently trapped under ice, would, if exposed, release vast quantities of methane upon its decomposition, a gas 23 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Katie Walter of the Institute of Arctic Biology at the University of Alaska has described the melting of the permafrost and the subsequent release of methane as a ticking time bomb. Given the scale of this potential disaster before us, we have no choice but to embark upon a global renewable energy revolution to replace our carbon-driven economy with a renewable energy economy. We can no longer solve the climate crisis one light bulb at a time. In October of last year, Barack Obama called climate change one of the greatest moral challenges of our generation. He was absolutely right. Our lives and the lives of our children and their children are at stake. We are already running the risk of condemning future generations to the future of global warming. If we do not act right now, the battle will be lost. Thank you very much.
The things that are being offered to people to make a difference on climate change just don't really match up to the scale of the problem. I mean, Bianca fabulously explained the sort of scale of the risk. Well, actually, you know what? The pollution that we're about to tolerate is set now. It was set in 2006 by Brussels, and that's it. For the next 4.5 years, pollution levels are now capped. So you can turn off your lights as much as you like, but really, what you're doing is then freeing up permits that can be traded.
Okay, essentially, imagine a giant game of musical chairs. This is what it is, except in this game, the chairs are permits and you can pay for the right to sit on a chair. That's basically emissions trading. It's not complicated. A number of chairs are created, people take them away, and that basically is a way of reducing pollution. And it's usually up to the governments to take those chairs away, those permits away, and that's what they try and do. But I know, and there are some colleagues in the room now today who have witnessed this firsthand too, that industry does not want to see those chairs taken away. It goes against the grain for them to have to pay for something that they've got existing rights to now for nothing. Currently in Brussels right now, the decisions that were taken in 2006 are being revisited again, and this is going to set the caps for the next X number of years from 2013 onwards. And I mean, again, looking around at some of my NGO colleagues, The number of industry lobbyists in Brussels right now working on this is enormous. There are maybe 4, possibly 5 NGO lobbyists in Brussels trying to hold back this policy. So really, we just can't do it like this anymore. We've got to get civil society involved in this decision-making process. For as long as emissions trading is being held up as the main policy to solve climate change, it's got to be made to work. And so far, it hasn't, unfortunately. But being a bit of a geek, I kind of knew that it was going to be possible to check whether it was delivering, because data would be released that we could use to compare what people were currently emitting against what they've been permitted to emit. And that's what we've done. That really was the genesis of Sandbag, was looking at that kind of information to find out, is this really doing something for the environment? I just think, okay, it's a difficult subject, but we don't need everyone in the world to understand it. We just need enough people to understand it. And then we can put pressure on. Then we can get permits back where they've been handed out wrongly. And we can make sure that the next time, let's hope, we don't make the same mistakes of the past. I just got to say a few words to say thank you. Ian Katz and Damien Carrington's help has been really fantastic over the last few weeks and months. And the sponsorship of this event here tonight, as well as down to the Guardian, so a huge thank you to them. I also should just say a quick thank you to all the people in the Sandbag team. We're a virtual team. We don't have an office yet. We're still fundraising to get ourselves established, but we've achieved all of this really from their hard work. If you think there's any way you can help Sandbag, then please do get in touch. Visit the website, contact us through there. And thank you all for being here, and on with the celebration. Thank you.